We'll go ahead and call tonight's City Council meeting to order. And for tonight's invocation, we have Pastor Rodney Bloomquist from the Trinity Lutheran Church. Pastor.
Good Heavenly Father, and we come to you first of all with thanksgiving for the blessings you poured out upon this community and for all the things that you've given to us. We thank you for the leadership and the peaceful community that we have. We ask now that you guide and direct the council and the work that they do, open their hearts and minds to see clearly the information, making decisions that will benefit the people. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, let's start off with the roll call.
Larry Bud. Sean Bertle.
Here.
Ray Dorchenez.
Here.
Rob Heatherly.
Here.
Bruce Jones.
Here.
Ray Kuntz.
Here.
Martin Voda.
Here.
Earl Walters.
Here.
Okay, 7 aldermen present, 1 absent. First thing we have is a motion to utilize the omnibus vote for approval of the minutes of the previous meetings listed on tonight's agenda under the title Omnibus Vote Designation. Alderman Dorchenez, second by Alderman Jones. Discussion or comment? Hearing none, roll call.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Ray Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Kuntz.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Okay, the minutes we'll be approving will be the minutes of the regular meeting held November 17th, 2014, minutes of the Finance Committee meeting held November 24th, 2014, and minutes of the Ordinance Committee meeting held November 24th, 2014. Entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved, Your Honor.
Alderman Walters, second by Alderman Heberlein. Discussion or comment? Roll call, please.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Kuntz.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
And Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Okay, next item is an appointment to the library board. Ms. Kathy Robertson. You know Kathy, she's currently she's the principal of St. Mary's School. A few of you aldermen may remember that she also worked one time as a news reporter for the Breeze Courier and covered some of our city council meetings. So knowing that she observed firsthand how city government works, and despite that, she is still willing to step forward, I think it speaks volumes about her commitment to the city. So, now Kathy will be replacing Mr. Joe Meeks, who unfortunately is moving from Taylorville to take a new position elsewhere. Joe served the citizens of Taylorville very well, and I certainly want to publicly thank him for his years of service on the library board. So I would entertain a motion to approve my appointment of Kathy Robertson to the library board. Alderman Dorchenez, second by Alderman Heberlein. Discussion or comment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Alderman Walters.
I've known this fine lady for a number of years. I've helped with some projects at St. Mary's School, and I want to congratulate you on your choice. I think she'll be a fine addition to the library board.
Agreed. Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Kuntz.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. And I ask the city clerk to please step forward and officially swear in our new board member.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of a member of the library board to which you were appointed according to the best of your ability?
Thanks for doing it.
Good deal with Sean.
Okay, the next item is a resolution that's regarding the airport project settlement agreement with Laker, CAM, and Miracle. And I would ask City Attorney Rocky Romano to please address the council on this matter.
Gentlemen, I think you've all received from me in an email the latest revised version of the settlement agreement reached between CAM Solutions PC, Kent Metzger, John Miracle, and Laker Petroleum Services. And Larry and Joy Laker. I'm pleased to announce this evening that I've received by email shortly before the meeting a signed signature page from John Miracle to the agreement. The mayor and Alderman Voda and I met with Larry and Joy Laker about a half hour before this evening's meeting, and they have signed the agreement. So all that we're missing on the agreement is Kent Metzger. John Miracle informs me this evening that he's placed a voicemail and a email to Mr. Metzger. Has not heard back from that gentleman yet, but in his mind, he doesn't see there's any reason why Mr. Metzger would not sign it, but he does not have the authority to represent that to us this evening. So with that being said, I would ask that the resolution that you have before you would be adopted with this addition. On Section 2, where it says that the mayor is authorized and directed to sign the agreement, and any and all other documents and instruments relating to that document, we'll add, after Cam, Miracle, and Laker each sign and return said signed agreement to the mayor. We have 2 of the 3 parties have done so. Hopefully, Mr. Metzger will do so in the next day or so. Is there any questions thus far?
Could you repeat that section, please, Rocky?
Yes, Section 2, after the word thereto, I'm suggesting we add, after Cam, Miracle, and Laker, each sign and return said sign agreement to the mayor, meaning that the mayor doesn't put his signature on it till everybody's a party to it signed, and then we're ready to move forward with it. And it's my understanding that Mr. Laker is, with the thought that this does get signed in the next day or two, I think he's going to go ahead and finish up the monitoring and well abandonment work while the weather's good and get that behind us. I have talked with the Illinois EPA attorney, Melanie Jarvis, this morning. She confirmed to me that they will expedite the paperwork on this once they get the final work, because they wanted to get this concluded as well. So unfortunately, that probably the asphalting and the fencing work, which the city is going to do, but is going to get paid directly from EPA for that work, and that dollar amount to be paid equals the bids that have been submitted for that work. So you'll be no out-of-pocket money in terms of that. But according to Bill Newberry, that may not take place until early spring. And we have to wait till that point to get the NFR letter, no further remediation required by IEPA. Any questions?
Alderman Heberly.
Just a couple. In a communication with you and Mr. Miracle over the weekend, he had made an additional request that could amount to, in his words, additional pay applications. Does this agreement supersede that additional request?
No. I mean, his request was denied. I mean, if you saw my reply email, I believe I sent it all to you. I essentially said, in my mind, I did not think the city council would honor those requests.
Right.
They want them over with. He recognizes that. He signed it, the agreement, as you saw it. So those additional language requests are not part of this agreement.
Okay.
He's agreed to not move that request forward.
And will there be any interest payment request from Mr. and Mrs. Laker?
By signing this agreement tonight, there will not be.
All right,
They
thank
will
you.
give you a full final release from any claims they have related to this project, or any invoice that they have previously submitted that's pending, or hereafter to be made. They're withdrawing it, they waived it, it's a done deal.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other questions from the Alderman?
And I would like to publicly thank Larry and Joy Laker for their comments this evening and their willingness to come forward and put this behind all of us and get this project finally completed and move on down the road. So
Thank you.
we thank them for that.
Okay, to entertain a motion to approve the resolution with the amendment suggested by the city attorney.
So moved.
Alderman Voda, for a second.
I'll second.
Alderman Jones. Discussion or comments?
The only comment, Your Honor,
Alderman
is
Vogt.
again echo the attorney's words toward Larry and Joy. I appreciate their patience in working with us. I know that this is it's a hard nut to swallow on this one, and we do appreciate you working with us and putting closure on this, so thank you very much.
Alderman Kuntz.
As I told you before, Mr. Mayor, I will be abstaining due to the fact that my brother-in-law is a part of Laker Petroleum.
Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Bruce Jones.
Yep.
Ray Coontz.
Abstain.
Martin Boda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Motion passes 6 in favor with 1 abstention. Thank you very much. So, let's move on to the next ordinance. This is regarding the annual abatement ordinance. Entertain a motion to
So
approve.
moved, Your Honor.
Alderman Walters. Can I get a second? Second from somebody.
Second.
Alderman Voda. Discussion and comment.
I have a comment, Mr. Mayor. The city clerk and I reviewed this as she was walking out the door this evening. We have a couple of suggested changes. And if you'll look on the, what I'll call the second page, the back page of the first page, at the very bottom where it says ordinance number 3444, adopted on the 21st day of September 2009. Everyone bear with me. After 2009, we'll put parentheses, the quote ordinance, end of quote parentheses. That will also appear on the next page after the adopted on the 19th day of December 2005. That language will also be there. The reason for that is that when you go down to section 1, the abatement provision, it refers to the ordinances hereby abated in its entirety, meaning that all 4 of those ordinances will be abated. And that one, I think the city clerks agree with that. Is that correct? Yes.
Okay, Alderman Walters, will you amend your,
Yes, I will, Your Honor.
to take care of the suggested amendment? And Mr. Voda, amend your second?
Well, Mr. Walters did, I will too.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
Martin Boda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Okay, next we have an ordinance authorizing the city to enter into certain annexation agreements, these being water annexation agreements. We read those at the public hearing earlier tonight.
Second, Your Honor, with
Alderman
comment.
Dorchenez, second by Alderman Walters. Alderman Walters, go ahead with your comment.
As I've mentioned when these come up in the past, this is something that we do every time these come around. This doesn't mean that these properties are immediately in the city of limits of Taylorville. It's just the process that we go through to do this.
Right, has to provide water. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Martin Boda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. The next 2 ordinances listed on your agenda I will hold, and when we do the ordinance committee report, we'll take care of them at that time. Next we have, I need a motion to approve the closed session minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Kuntz, second by Alderman Heberlin. Discussion or comment? Hearing none, roll call.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
Martin Boda.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Brings us to city attorney updates.
In the interest of brevity, gentlemen, I have nothing further to discuss with you this evening.
Wow.
How about that?
Boy, look at the money we saved.
Let's mark that down.
Alderman Dorchenez, go ahead.
Well, I'd like to give the city attorney a pat on the back for unraveling that
Well, thank you.
very difficult situation that he came into. He wasn't here when it started, but he was here to finish it off, and I just want to give him a pat on the back. Good
Thank
job.
Well deserved.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for the city attorney? Okay, we'll move on to mayor updates. One thing I want all the aldermen to put in their mind is that the first Thursday in January happens to be New Year's Day. So we need to schedule committee meetings usually held on that first Thursday for some other day. Now, we've got a couple options we could do. There's also 5 Thursdays in that month. So if we wanted to push everyone's committee 1 week forward, that's one possibility. Or we could just choose another day that following week, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday the following week and hold it. So Don't need an answer for today, but we will need one for the next city council meeting so we can, get that recorded about what the new date will be. At last month's city council meeting, I spoke about my concerns and the IML's concerns regarding House Bill 5485. This had to do with making minimum manning in fire departments a mandatory subject of collective bargaining. I'm afraid I have to report that despite the concerns of the local leaders, the legislation passed the legislation through the Senate and is now awaiting Governor Quinn's signature. I did write the governor a letter and ask him not to sign it, but believe it or not, I have not got a response. So, and again, this is very frustrating. It's one of those things again where it was very clear by going up to the Springfield that the lobbyists, for the fire union had already made their deals with them, and they weren't going to be changing their minds. I hate to say they were paid off, but we kind of know how things work up there, and I believe that's what happened, because despite calls and letters from mayors across the state, they didn't think twice about passing this, and that's a shame. Talking about the IML, this Saturday coming up, December the 6th, I will be attending the IML Board of Directors meeting in Chicago. I put out copies of the agenda for all the aldermen there to show you what we will be discussing up there. That meeting starts at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday, which means I'll be departing Taylorville about 5 a.m. Saturday morning. I'm really excited about that. So. The other thing I'm going to hit is Mr. Dan Rabb, President and CEO of the Taylorville Memorial Hospital, will be retiring this month. I can say from personal experience that it's truly been a pleasure to have the opportunity to interact with this man and on a variety of community-related projects. He has done so much for the community, and we've been lucky to have him. The good news is he's still staying in the community. And I really think that is good news, and he's a quality kind of guy and quality kind of family that we need around here. So I'm glad he is going to still continue to call Taylorville his home, at least for the foreseeable future. Two things just to remind you. Also next Saturday, Taylorville Main Street will be presenting the annual Twilight Christmas Parade. It begins at 5 p.m. and they'll go around the square. And this year's theme is 175 years of Christmas cheer. And then also on the same day, we have Carol Alexander and Cherry Fines will host our annual Christmas tea. This will be the 17th year of that event, and it always brings lots of new people into the community and some visitors back. So that's a good thing for the community also. That's all I have, unless anyone has any questions. We'll move on to committee reports. Discussions and our motions to approve, adopt, and/or deny, and/or table, and/or amend, and/or refer to an appropriate committee in whole or in part the matters regarding the following subject matters discussed at the committee level. Start off with the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Budd asked me if I'd read his report and his motion from that meeting. So the first motion was to approve the January 1st, 2015 to January 1st, 2016 workers' compensation policy renewal premium for $304,989 from the Illinois Public Risk Fund. I'd like to make that in the form of a motion.
Okay, a second on that. Second by Alderman Voda. Discussion or comment? I think the only comment I have is that was good news. It was actually a decrease in premium, so that's always good news for us. Roll call, please.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Next motion came out of the committee was a motion to contribute $5,000 to the Christian County Economic Development Corporation. I'd like to make that in the form of a motion.
Okay, there's a second on that.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
Alderman Voda. Discussion or comment? Hearing none, roll call.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Coontz.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Last motion was to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
Okay, can I get a second on that?
Second, Your Honor.
Alderman Walters. Discussion or comment? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? That motion passes. Moving on to Ordinance Committee.
We have a motion to approve the draft ordinances prepared by the city attorney pertaining to the stockpiling of dirt within the city limits with an amendment and addition of language that there would be no grandfathering of stockpiling of dirt. Make that motion.
Okay, we have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, Alderman Voda on the second. Discussion or comment? Roll call, please.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Ray Coontz?
Yes.
Martin Voda?
Yes.
Earl Walters?
Yes.
Sean Bertle?
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
We have a motion also to approve the draft ordinance prepared by the city attorney pertaining to the parking of semi-tractor trailers in the downtown historical district.
Jones, second by Alderman Bertle. Discussion or comment? Roll call, please.
Bruce Jones?
Yes.
Ray Coontz?
Yes.
Martin Voda?
Yes.
Earl Walters?
Yes.
Sean Bertle?
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez?
Yes.
Rob Heatherly?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
We also had a motion to direct the city attorney to draft an ordinance similar to Springfield's for the committee's review regarding video gaming terminals. Make that motion.
Second.
Second by Alderman Heberlin. Discussion or comment? The only comment I have is, and I'll get with the city attorney on this, talking to at least one of the owners of one of the local taverns here, he brings a point of view that I think we need to at least hear from their sides a little bit. So I will work with the city attorney and have him draft up something, but we may have to have some more comment section that day. What we're trying to do is come up with some kind of percentage, at least so they have some actual either food or drink served as it was intended. He pointed out that many of your taverns get little or no revenue, actual positive revenue from the sale of liquor. It's always been gaming. Before it was illegal gaming. Now it's legal gaming. But so when you try and say a percentage of sales or something as far as their revenue, it may not match up. In other words, you have 60%. That may be a number very hard for them to reach. And I've heard that from at least a couple of them. So at least we might want to listen to what they've got to say and see if it makes sense. But I'm still in favor of drafting that somehow so they can't get around the system. But maybe we can adjust what that percentage might be, what makes sense.
One comment while you're there.
Alderman Jones.
In the Breeze Courier, there was recently an article about what we're talking about. So, I think we were, I can't say that we were ahead of the curve because everybody saw this after it happened.
Right.
And there's communities that are making changes at the present time. So I think that we're right in the flow of things. And
think so.
like you said, I think that we need to listen to the bar owners, get their input, and then we'll come up with the appropriate language so that we can help, remedy the problem that we've already identified.
Alderman Walters.
The comment I wanted to make, Your Honor, is the fact that as big a city as Springfield is, and we do not have to follow Springfield's lead, of course.
No.
But they're going through the same thing. There's been numerous articles in the State Journal Register. They're making substantial changes to their ordinances and that type of thing up there in the Springfield area. Right. So we might be able to get some information from them also, even though they're home rule and we're non-home rule. We can look at some of that.
Right. Okay. Roll call on that one.
Ray Coontz?
Yes.
Martin Voda?
Yes.
Earl Walters?
Yes.
Sean Bertle?
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez?
Yes.
Rob Heatherly?
Yes.
Bruce Jones?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
And coming back, we have those two ordinances. The ordinance amending subparagraph G of section 8-1-7 of chapter 1 to title 8 of the city code under stockpiling of dirt. Make that motion.
Do a second on that.
Second.
Alderman Voda, discussion or comment? Roll call.
Martin Voda?
Yes.
Earl Walters?
Yes.
Sean Bertle?
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez?
Yes.
Rob Heatherly?
Yes.
Bruce Jones?
Yes.
Ray Coontz?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Our second ordinance is amending subparagraph F of section 6-3-7 of chapter 3 to title 6 of the city code, parking of semi-tractor trailers in downtown historic district. I'll make that motion. We accept that ordinance.
Second by Alderman Bertle, discussion or comment? Hearing none, roll call.
Earl Walters?
Yes.
Sean Bertle?
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez?
Yes.
Rob Heatherly?
Yes.
Bruce Jones?
Yes.
Ray Coontz?
Yes.
Martin Voda?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
And I would also like to thank the city attorney for the work on this. I know that we tweaked it several times, and I think that we came up and took care of everybody's concerns. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, finally, we have a motion to approve and ratify payment of bills in the amount of $399,774.80.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor, with comment.
Second,
Alderman
Your Honor.
Bertle, second by Alderman Walters. Go ahead with your comment, Alderman Bertle.
Mr. Bud asked me to read his finance report, so here it goes. Insurance for all departments, $101,710.61. Healthcare tax, $3,137.20. Electric for all departments, $7,772.12. Illinois Public risk workers' compensation for January, $25,424. Illinois Department of Transportation Spillway Bridge, $177,139.76. Myers, Austin, and Romano, $6,000. Illinois Municipal League membership for 2015, $1,038. Antenna Man Roving miscellaneous, $2,054.80. JF Cody Supplies, $2,693.50. Alto for $5,576.93. Walmart and Ron's Produce miscellaneous, $1,162. Garbage is $2,512.35. Police Department for uniforms and equipment, $1,332.77. Street Department for road safe traffic systems, Secret's reimbursement is $1,375. Farm Tech salt bin cover was $7,628.66. For the Water Department, Midwest Meter Supplies was $5,436.65. Chemicals was $16,492. For the airport, it was Aero Energy Fuel, $19,370.65. For the Lake Department, it was Whitlow Septic Service, porta potties for October through August through October was $1,105 for a total of $388,870.92.
Thank you. Other questions or comments regarding the payment of bills? Roll call, please.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Roy Coontz.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Okay, per subparagraph G of 5 ILCS 120/2.06, this portion of the city council meeting is reserved for any person wishing to address the council on any relevant subject matters concerning the city. Would anyone like to address the council? Jackie?
On November 17th, the finance meeting had a meeting prior to the council for the tax levy. At that time, I did not have the total actuarial amount for the police pension. I did receive that today, and it is lower than what I had anticipated. So therefore, I will be changing the amount for the police pension. And also, I believe I will add to the insurance and the IMRF for the levy portion.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right, I entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Alderman
Second.
Voda, second by, who's that over there? Alderman Koontz, okay. Discussion or comment? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passes, meeting adjourned 7:29 PM.